All right, so I'd like to talk a bit about the Nintendo Switch 2 release and just some of my thoughts on it. So I've had it for a few days now. I've been able to play it, play around with it, and it's cool. And I like the feel of it in a bunch of different ways. So the first thing I'd like to say is in terms of the handheld device, it feels comfortable, but for me, it really doesn't feel like a jump back to something along the lines of a Nintendo DS. It's definitely not a handheld. And some people might play it like that, which is fine. I'm not thinking I'm playing it like that. To me, this is a TV console video game system first and foremost, and it's nothing but pure convenience that I'm able to play it handheld, right? Someone else is watching something on the TV, or if I need to have my attention more so in the kitchen, but I have time to wait and I want to play a game. So for me, it's way more about being a TV console. And I have played it both ways. Like I said, I did like the feel of it in my hands, but I think my perspective is coming a lot more from the TV console. So I did not get any of the new controllers yet. Pretty expensive. So I'm cool with waiting. And I've been using I've just been using my Nintendo Switch Pro controllers. And I like them. They work fine. It's a controller. It's exactly what I'm looking for. But why is it not waking up my Switch 2 from sleep? I have no idea if that's just me or if I'm missing something here, but it's not waking them up. And that's annoying. So I have to actually turn it on like it's an older school console, and then I can use the controller just fine. And I mean, I think that's a good point. Like, let's pretend the Switch 2 is on. So let's talk about that. Okay, so pretending that I have the Switch 2 on in front of me on the TV. I got the controller in my hand, and the screen is just loaded. It looks like the Switch, and the chimes are a little different. The icons aren't all too much different at this point, right? Because the Switch had that update before the Switch 2 came out, the virtual cards and game share and all that stuff. And I'm looking at it like this is the same thing. And it's nice for familiarity, but it's not in terms of is this new? I don't think this is new. Um, it feels nice, and I know some people are going crazy about the dark mode and how that's easier on the eyes and stuff like that, and that's fine, but how often am I on that home screen to the point where dark mode or light mode, right? Regular mode is is going to be that important to me. I have no idea. And because at that point, if I've walked away, I'm sure the thing should just turn off, or I should turn it off at that point, right? I'm not using it as a nightlight. Um, and okay, so I one of the first games I loaded up was Animal Crossing, and by the way, the transfer and downloading the games took forever. I noticed that there's a way that you could plug in your Ethernet cable. Maybe that would have gotten a little bit quicker, but it did take a little bit. And anyway, though, Animal Crossing was immediately sharper looking. And I don't know if it's all props to the console here because it came with a HDMI cable, and in the or on the package, it was like ultimate HDMI cable designed for the Nintendo Switch 2. So I'm wondering if the cable and yeah, obviously paired with the software in the system is making it just look crisper, or do my eyes, and my thoughts of, oh, this is a new console, right? Is that making me think that what I'm looking at is crisper? Unfortunately, I can't have the two side by side, and I don't want to set up my Nintendo Switch and see if that would make all the difference. But I'm sure that it has something to do with it. It can't not have something to do with it That's for sure. And okay, so Animal Crossing is on. It's smooth. It's nice. All that. And then I Mario Kart 8. Okay, it's on. It's smooth. It's nice. All that. And what am I doing? Right? Like, where's the new game here? So, kind of on that note, I want to transition over into I want to transition over into just the launch itself. I feel like I've been duped here just a little bit. Yep. So feeling duped. I feel duped because where is the awesome launch game? Mario Kart World is pretty cool, and it's Mario Kart, and Mario Kart is a staple product for Nintendo, and I'm not seeing the drive, pun intended, on getting the game. And it's way too much like Mario Kart 8 for a launch day game, in my opinion, to get that bundle edition and pay the extra. Now, later on, I'm sure I'm going to get the game because I'll want the newest Mario Kart at some point, right? But the issue for me here is there was no major motivating factor to get the new game other than the fact that it was a new game that came out with the console. We're not talking about like the newest Legend of Zelda. We're not talking about, a Super Smash Brothers coming out with it. Because it's been a while, since we've seen those. So why? I feel like it was botched. And now I'm sitting here on the Switch too, like wondering why did I get this as early as I did? And it's the hype train. Nintendo was really good at the hype train, and they got everybody on board. I'm sure that is a already a dedicated Nintendo fan, definitely. People who are just maybe not as dedicated, but were looking for a new Nintendo console or just out there in the market for a new Nintendo console, and the Switch 2 just so happened to pop up. Um, and then why not? Why not get the latest and greatest? And that's fine. But for someone who is a diehard Nintendo fan, which I do consider myself, not my only gaming console, though. Actually, it is my only gaming console, unless we count the PC. And why? Why did I have to rush out to get it? What did Nintendo uh, give me in this case, other than an updated Switch? So, yeah, feeling a little jerked around by Nintendo on this one, and definitely never going to do that again. So, that kind of is, part of my thought process here is like, why did Nintendo obviously create all of this hype? What are they going for? What is their angle? So, my thought here is Nintendo knows they're going to launch a game. And they're going to launch the game, my guess at this point, holiday. And that means doing the Switch 2 launch now as early as they did without that staple update of a game also was kind of pressured. And releasing Mario Kart World, something that they're going to continuously update just like they did Mario Kart 8, right? Is fine. You're buying once again an incomplete game, and they're just going to keep pushing it out to you, and they might even charge you for some of that later on too, so they kind of know that that's coming. But also, whatever this game is that they plan to release holiday season, they want people to already have the Switch 2, so that once this game is announced, the production amount at that moment of holiday season time of Switch 2s will be able to keep up with the demand of the people trying to buy the Switch 2 for the first time to get this holiday game. That's my thought. So I'm holding on to hope that we're going to get that game, which is going to be a lot later on. And once again, back to what I mentioned before, if this is the trend that they're trying to start, then I might as well just wait until, if they were to do this again at the next console, then wait for that game to come out with it. Because at this point, what is the point? of the Switch 2 other than an upgraded Switch, unless you're a Mario Kart fanatic or you were in the market because your Switch broke or you just wanted a Nintendo game anyway, a Nintendo console anyway. So that's just my thoughts on it. All right. Thanks for listening.